I love sharing behind the scenes of how I work my Scentsy business. In this video, I thought that I'd walk you through a handful of different ways that I work it, showing just the flexibility, the ease, the excitement, and truly the ability to work it however, whenever, and wherever I want. So tune in for a quick sneak peek. Ready, set, let's go. Hi guys, I am Jacqui Duran, independent Scentsy consultant, and this week I wanted to talk to you about something that's really near and dear to my heart, and that happens to be power hours. I've shared some of this with you guys before, but I truly believe in the power of paper. Yeah, paper. Even though I love my social media and I live for tech, I am truly a paper person when it all boils down to it. And working my business and really organizing myself every single day, every single week, and every single month helps me to stay on top of everything, stay on track of things. Because are you guys anything like me? Do you have other things going on in your life besides Scentsy? Anyone? Every single day, I make sure that I set aside business time. I like to dedicate at least 1 hour a day, but for those of you who may not have the luxury of having that 1 hour a day, even if it's a good 15 minutes, a good 15 minutes can truly make a difference. So just because you may not be able to commit to a whole chunk of time, even if you can, like I said, dedicate a smaller amount of time, but make it productive, then that's the same concept. Every single day I start off with a to-do list. Yep, a true to-do list. A tried and true to-do list. Now on my to-do list, everything gets put down. So I create my notes for every single day. I also track my PRV and my group wholesale volume because as a director, I like to watch those. And then I also, every single week, I'll break that down for you. There's certain tasks that I like to look at as well. So as you begin growing your team, there's gonna be different things that you're gonna want to focus in on, drill into, and just really make sure that you're touching base with. But bare bones, something that you should start to get into the habit of, if you're not already doing it, is literally planning for your power hour every single day. Now remember, when I say power hour, it doesn't have to be a full hour. It can be more than an hour. It may just be that 15 minutes for you. That's fine, but I'm just gonna reference it as power hour so that way you guys kind of know what it is I'm referring to. Here's the method behind the madness of the concept of power hour. Scentsy is truly a BYOB, build your own business. That's right, we can build our businesses around us, around our schedules, around our lives, our families, people we take care of, the obligations that we have to do, right? We can truly form this business around all of that and in the middle of all of that sometimes too. So the beauty of being able to do that is truly, you're your own boss, right? So as your own boss, you can set your hours for business. I always like to encourage my team especially to really sit down and make that intention, make that commitment to your business. Now for the team members who this is simply a hobby, maybe at least once a month doing a power hour is just enough. That's really all they need to kind of stay in the know, get a heads up as to what's going on, maybe any specials, any incentives, promotions, things like that, right? Touching base. Now, if you're working this as a business, I really, really, really encourage you to try and make this a daily task, okay? A daily power hour, because you will begin to see the results, especially if your goal is to be building a team and making this into a true business income. So like I said, I start out with a to-do list every single day. Part of what I like to do is not only to track my group wholesale volumes, so the group sales. I also like to track my own, but I also like to make sure that I'm hitting on certain things every single day. Now, my power hour list may look a little different than yours. Like I said, as a director, there's certain things that I have to pay attention to and that I really try and make sure that I'm focusing on. Before becoming a director, however, I really took the opportunity. It started out when I became a star consultant, but when I hit superstar consultant, I really tried to put this into practice. And I wasn't intentional with it there for a while. I'm going to be completely honest. I wasn't. But looking back on it, I can see the times when I was intentional with doing this and making time for my business versus the times that I didn't make it an intention. I didn't make sure that I was planning time out. I didn't make sure that I was touching bases. So those are the months where, yeah, I can look back in my workstation and I can see that not only myself, but my team, we would dip and then we would dip and then we would dip. Now, once I started getting consistent with really working as if I was a director, we've talked about that before, right? You're acting as if, okay? Remember, like the walk, dress for the job you want, act as if you were already a director. And I really encourage anybody who is star consultant or higher to really put this into practice. Before that, you're really truly getting your feet wet. You're really truly getting to feel what it's like to have at least one or more team members. And that is a little bit of a learning curve. But once you get past that and you promote to star or above, that's when you can really start focusing in on working as if you were a director. So every single day, the title is notes, the date, my PRV, my group wholesale volume for my team. The very first thing that I put down on my to-do list is anything that I didn't get done the day before, or maybe the day before that, or the week before that. Anything that has flown over moves to the top of my list each day. Because again, life happens, right? We do have other things going on in our lives besides Scentsy. So it's okay when life happens. The beauty of Scentsy and the joy of Scentsy is the ability to truly work this business around life, real life. Okay, I'm talking real life here. It happens. So just by moving those to the top of my list every single day, it again allows me to not lose things because, guys, I'm a working mom. I work my Scentsy business. I've got a younger child. I've got older children, a household to take care of. My husband and I have different projects that we work on. And I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I can rely on reminders on my phone and my calendar all day long, but really, bare bones, at the end of the day, it really comes down to if I don't write it down, I don't remember it. When I started this, again, I started this when I was a superstar consultant, and I started noticing that after about a good 3 to 4 weeks of me doing that every single day, even if I didn't have the true power hour, because there were days that I didn't fully commit to touching my business once a day. I noticed soon that there was a lot of things that I was truly just forgetting. Okay, I was forgetting. Now, the Maven app, if you guys don't already have it downloaded and aren't using it, it's fantastic for follow-ups. I still, to this day, I use my Maven app, but at the same time, I also keep my daily journal of what it is that I'm working on. Where am I at? What do I need to do? Because yes, Maven can help me to remind me to send a thank you and to do those follow-ups, like following the 2x2x2 system, right? But there may be some things that show up that Maven can't yet tell me. So for example, maybe I get a message, a direct message or a personal message, whatever, through Facebook or Instagram. And it's someone either requesting a sample, maybe they're requesting a catalog, maybe it's the opportunity of somebody joining Scentsy. Those are the things that pop up that I will write down in my notes for the day. So-and-so contacted me, interested in getting a sample and would like a catalog. Boom, I can write that down, put that in. Then later I can go back and I can actually put it into Maven. But by writing it down and making sure, because otherwise what ends up happening, or at least what ended up happening to me, is I would mentally say, oh yeah, I need to remember to follow up with her. And I'll remember because it's in my messages. Yep, I'll remember that. Do you think I remembered that when I got home, maybe from working in the office that day? No. Because then what happened? The dinner had to be made, the laundry had to be done, I had to help with some homework, or there was an after-school meeting or whatever. And then by the time I sat down to work my business, what was I focusing on? Well, I was focusing on the urgent things, right? If my team members were reaching out with questions, if I needed to update them on something that was going on, a new release of a new product, or taking an order, things like that, right? That request kind of just got lost in the shuffle. And it can happen. Living proof here, people. Living proof that it can happen. I had the best intentions, but I just wasn't putting it into a workable process for myself. Does that make sense? So that's where my daily power hour comes in. The very first thing that I do is sit down, write down the date of the day, my PRV, my GWV, and then roll over those items that didn't get addressed, and then start with anything else. So again, the first thing is going to be requests that I'm getting in, inbound requests, so those get put on the list. The next thing is going to be whatever happens to be going on, or what point in the month it is. So what I mean by that is, again, as a leader, as a star or above, you really need to be paying attention to your team. So at the beginning of the month, the very first thing that I do is I go to my workstation and I look for the will cancels, right? You guys know where that is. So in your workstation, you can go to your performance tab, you can run a leadership report. Anybody who has a check mark under that will cancel column is up for cancellation. That means that this is the month that they at least have to put in a minimum of 200 PRV to stay active as a Scentsy consultant. So the beginning of the month, that's one of those tasks. That's the very first thing that I do, is I run that report. Then I go into, I actually have it set up into a Google Doc. And so I take my Google Doc, I export that, I send out an email to anybody who has that check mark. That Google Doc has a lot of information in it. What it does is it just reminds them that this is their month, that they need to put in that minimum 200 PRV. I put in some tips, some ideas for how to do that. Of course, focusing on the selling practices, right? Or the business practices of Scentsy. So doing those follow-ups, checking in with previous hosts and customers, things like that. It also will then remind them again, the scent and the warmer of the month, any promotions that we might have going on. And then like right now, we're in the holiday season. So we've got seasonal limited time products that are out there right now. So I want to make sure that they realize that those are limited time quantities, right? So they're only available while supplies last. So just making sure that all of those things are in there. And then of course, so what am I doing? I'm always opening that door for the communication. If they would like a one-on-one coaching call with me, if they need help more intimately, whatever it is, giving them the opportunity to let me know so I can set that up as we go on throughout the month. So that's just one of the things for the beginning of the month. As an example of my power hour. During the middle of the month is where I like to really touch base and kind of do a quick shout out to my team members that are really working their business, right? So those people who, you know, are getting that PRV in, who I can see them on social media because we're friends. I can see them and what they're doing. I can send some kudos throughout the month. I like to do it in kind of sporadic ways, right? When I see somebody doing something, I'm gonna give them a shout out. So that's kind of how I like to do those shout outs. If you guys are anything like me, again, I work at an office in a corporate setting, and let me tell you, I don't get very much recognition, not only for my daily work, but for my monthly work, okay? I don't get a kudos from my manager or my VP saying, great job, Jacqui. No, that doesn't happen. But in the world of Scentsy, we can make that happen. And that's where we can truly touch base with our team members and roll that into our customers as well. Another one of the things that I really like to focus on and I talk about a power hour are just looking at your overall goals for the month. What is your goal for the month? Are you working towards a promotion? Are you looking to add team members? Are you looking to get to a certain PRV for the month? There's lots of different things that you can look for in the ways of setting a goal each and every month. It's great to have the overview goal, right? Your overview goal may be, I want to become a Scentsy director. That's an overview of a goal, right? But we have to every month set ourselves up for success by implementing a smaller goal that's going to get you there. Maybe it's something as getting your $500 in PRV consistently or more. Or maybe it is recruiting one more team member this month. Building your team, building your consistency, creating those good habits just creates this great stable foundation for your business. And the more stable your foundation in your business, the more reliable your business is going to be. So at about the halfway point of the month, like I said, I'm doing some shout outs, I'm doing some check-ins, I'm touching base again with those will cancels, I'm looking for those promotions. It may be somebody who is farther down in my downline. So I'm still reaching out to those people. I'm still having a touch point with them, so to speak, just to touch base, let them know that I am a resource to them. Their sponsor, everybody's sponsor is always your first resource, but your upline as a whole is a really great resource to kind of lean on when maybe you just need some different advice, or maybe you're just stuck in a rut and you just need help getting out of that. Towards the end of the month, that's when I really like to help my team focus in on their goals. What are their goals? Are their goals to promote? Do they have certain goals that they're working towards? For a lot of my team members, it's a simple PRV goal every single month. So working with them, cheering them on, shouting them out when they get there. Maybe somebody's been working and they're just about to hit certified and they're only a little bit away, right? It's really drilling in and helping them and leading them to success. The other thing that I like to remind everybody when talking about a power hour is to use that time to network. There's lots of amazing Facebook groups out there. I think we all know that by now, that are truly impactful, right? So they're truly Facebook groups that are giving us motivation, ideas, tips on working our business, training, things like that. I, for one, am constantly learning. I am constantly looking for those good ideas, those great tips. Here's what worked for me. How can I implement that and work that into my business? How does that fit for Jacqui? Share those things with your team members, okay? Even though it's important for you to continue learning, you need to make sure that your team members are also dialed in to all of those resources. If there's somebody that you follow consistently for training or you really find motivation with, share that with your team. Being able to duplicate yourself in your team members is truly where the success lies. You want people who are going to be as driven to succeed as you are. And the more people that you're gonna find like that, the more rock stars on your team, again, that stronger foundation is building. It's going to help keep you more consistent. Another point that I want to touch on just very quickly, which it kind of goes without saying, but I always like to make sure that I'm pointing it out again, is at the end of the month when we're really like kind of closing the books on the month, so to speak, then that's when I'm making sure that any promotion shout outs, PRV shout outs are done so I can send some happy mail to my team members. Then I can also flip that and I can do the same with my customers. Who were my VIP customers this month? Or who did I not touch base with that I want to make sure I'm touching base with next month? Also flipping it and looking ahead. Where are we going for next month, right? Because who wants to start off a brand new month and not have any ideas of what you're going to do? For me, that causes anxiety, and anything that I can do to reduce anxiety or stress, I will do it. Planning ahead is something that helps me reduce that anxiety and that stress. So tell me, are you guys currently working with a power hour? Is it a power 15 minutes? Is it a true power hour every day? Maybe it's a true 5-minute power hour. That's okay too. As long as for those 5 minutes or 15 minutes or that 1 hour time slot that you dedicated, that you are truly focused on hitting those points for your daily goals, setting up a to-do list for the next day, touching base, doing those follow-ups, whatever it is that needs to be done, then that is 5 minutes well spent. It doesn't matter that it wasn't a full hour. It's still working your business. And for that, you deserve your own kudos. Hopefully this has kind of inspired you to get you going. As we go into 2019, I have lots of plans, people. I am going to be working on a course coming up. So hopefully that will assist a lot of you who have been asking for that. So more to come, more details coming with that. Be sure that you are subscribing. Feel free to share this with anybody you think might find this helpful or useful. And as always, peace, love, happiness. Bye.